Okay, we're going to make an old style woodpecker feeder from an old dead tree that'll blend in well with your yard and your property instead of one of those old wire cages you get from the hardware store. Now, I'm over voicing the video because the original video, the audio didn't come out too well. As you can probably tell, I have a hoarse throat and my voice is not doing too well. But I think it's better with the microphone than it was with the speaker. Okay, now to the right, you can see a skinny tree. That's the tree we're going to use to make this woodpecker feeder. Not that one, the one to the right of it. I just don't have the camera aimed right. Alright, if I can get this camera aimed at the right tree, to the right of it. See the skinny tree to the right? That one. Now it's important that before you cut a piece out of the tree or cut the tree down, you want to drill your holes in the tree that you're going to put the food. Because it's a lot easier to drill the holes in the tree while it's still on the ground than it is once it's down and rolling anywhere you want. So you cut a piece out about like I'm showing there. And I cut about 4 holes up and down from top to bottom and of that section. All the way around the tree, or about 45 degrees or 90 degrees apart from one another. So every 90 degrees I cut 4 holes. And then I cut the tree down and cut that piece out of it. So I don't have to do that when it's on the ground. That's very important. So I'm just using a standard hole driller here. Now I use a round drill tap to clean out the hole once I remove the plugs from the holes that I'm drilling now. So I put about 12 to 16 holes in the tree. In the section of it's about 2.5 foot section of the tree. And then I cut the top off and then the bottom out. Try to keep it straight so that the piece, once you take it out, it actually stand up on its own. It has a flat bottom, flat top. I'm not going to bore you why I cut 16 holes in a tree. So I put perches under 3 of the holes for, of course, for birds that perch. I only use 3 of them because my bluebirds love this food that's in here too. So I put the 3 perches up for perching birds. And of course this is a woodpecker feeder, not a perching bird feeder. But so I drill little holes about 1/4 of an inch or 3/16 an inch below 3 of the holes, and then just put a dowel in there for perching. And you lose bark on there when you're drilling these holes, but it's not going to stay there long anyway. These woodpeckers, they'll take that off pretty quick. The more holes you have, the more food you got to use. So it's up to you how many holes you want. Okay, I cut down the tree, cut the top off first. It didn't go down as easy as I thought it would. So it took a little fooling around with to get the thing. See, I got my chainsaw stuck in there. And I guess it's an old oak tree. And so my neighbor came over and gave me a hand. and I wanted it to fall into the woods, but it didn't. So we got the old tree down. I look at that one, see if that wasn't a safe thing to do for him to stand like that. Anyway, I did get it down. Watch out. She's getting ready to go. Okay, I know that was a comedy of errors, but at least the tree's down and the bluebird house is still standing, and my camera was still standing after that. So it took a little bit of cleanup, but well, next time see the old branches got caught up in that tree next to it. So, yeah, two old men cutting down a small tree like that, still having problems. Well, it's the way it goes sometimes. And learn from your mistakes. Now, in the far right corner of the screen there, you see that stump sticking up from the ground. That was the bottom of the tree. That actually would make a good woodpecker feeder itself, because it'd be easy to cut that down. Just drill holes in it and put an eye hook on the top of it, and put the holes in, cut it at the bottom, and take it out and hang that up somewhere, because it's pretty straight. And now I'll make the suet mix to put in the holes in the feeder. Again, I'm doing voiceover, so store it in, so you don't have to keep making it every time you had to put more food into the feeder. Use about 3 packages of suet I get from Walmart or anywhere. That particular one is the non-melt kind. You don't have to use that. In fact, I don't even recommend that. I recommend using the regular melt kind, but my wife went shopping and she picked up the wrong peanut butter. It's supposed to be the chunky peanut butter, but she got the creamy. And suet is the non-melt kind, so it don't have much fat in it. And it's good to wear some plastic gloves here to, because that gets pretty greasy when you try to mix that stuff together. So I crumble the suet packs, those cakes. They're the kind that go in those metal cage-like feeders for woodpeckers. I crumble up 3. That bucket or container there would hold about 6 of those. So this is a small quantity that I'm making. And it's good to have a plastic glove. You'll be glad you did it. Again, I normally use the crunchy peanut butter, not the creamy, because those little pieces of peanuts, they like that too. Especially the bluebirds like it. So it does get a little messy, especially the one with a lot of fat in the suet, which I always usually use, except when my wife goes shopping. Should be able to pick up a box of those suet cakes pretty cheaply, about $10 for a box of them that contain about 10 of them. I mean, they're usually about $1 a piece at Walmart. The kind that I'm using, which is the non-melt, which is much drier and not much fat in it. You actually pay a little more for it, but you get less stuff in it, so I don't like them. And the peanut butter. Since this peanut butter will not be used for consumption, it's only for the bird feeders. I'll stick my hands in there. Wouldn't want to do that without my gloves. About 3 scoops would do it. Now, how am I going to pick up my beer glass? Try to mix it so it's all one big clump. And then it'll last quite a while. Well, it depends how many. With the amount of holes I put in there. If it goes through them, it depends how many woodpeckers you get. I should normally get, certain times a year, I'll get quite a few. Quite a few is probably more than half a dozen. Well, I'm not going to bore you with more of this. You know how to mix it, so you just mix it. And you can put other stuff in there, like sunflower seeds and things. And they'll eat some of it, but they don't eat the sunflower seeds. They'll kick that out. And that means something will eat what the birds don't eat. So squirrels, most likely, down at the bottom of the feeder on the grass, you can get rodents or squirrels or whatever else you have in your neighborhood. So that's why I keep the feeder out there on the tree line. I don't put it in the yard. I don't put it close to the house, because you don't want mice to come up there and get too close to your house. Squirrels or anything else for that matter. I just fill up those holes and keep it flat on the surface. if you see you don't get many perching birds on there, you just pull those dowels out of there and let the woodpeckers take it over completely. But I like, because this is close to the bluebird house, and the pair of bluebirds land, they'll land on this a lot because it's so close by. And once they see it, they'll figure a way to get to it. Okay, cleaning up my mess. Alright, it's about ready to hang up on that stand I bought. That stand, I got it for less than $10 at Walmart. The thing I hang that feeder on. I went over to get one at the feeder store. There's a bird place nearby that specializes in bird feeders, and they wanted $35 for that stand, and it was a lot shorter. The one that tall, they wanted $49, $50 for it. Walmart's the same one, $9.95 or something like that. Oh, my wife's going to say, what mess you been making down here? She'd be right about that. But I do clean up after myself. Shake hands, anybody? It looks worse than it is. That stuff comes off pretty easily, soap and water. That glove, disposable glove, I just throw it away and that's it. Okay, I think I'm ready to hang it up. The bird feeder, of course. I've been retired for a long time. I'm 75 years old, and I retired when I was 62. So now I enjoy the outdoors. I go up to the shooting range. I have a couple of pistols I use, practice shooting. So in Georgia here, you can get a hand carry license, and there's no restrictions. You can even use it for open carry, but I don't use open carry. I use concealed carry. They wouldn't like me shooting in this community, so I can't go out in the woods and shoot, because this is a retirement community. Okay, good as new. Ready to go hang up the bird feeder and wait for the birds to come. Now, when it gets full of woodpeckers, I'll try and get a picture up on internet as a follow-up to the video, just so you see it. Okay, well, appreciate you watching. Sorry for the boring times with it, but and the little episode with the tree there, that normally wouldn't be, but yeah, it just got caught in the other tree. Should have been able to push that thing over into the woods. Been a little easier. But there's one thing about here, neighbors, they see you doing something like that, they come right over and help you.